Anthony Hartwig here with YSN Lady Bulldogs Coach's Corner with Nick Blanch. Nick, it's season 3 of Coach's Corner with you, and we couldn't be happier to have you back again.
Oh, it's great to be back. I know when you're in my life, I know it's basketball season and things are always right.
Let's just start with all the uncertainty that summer kind of had and leading up to winter season and how this program kind of was able to stay together and stay positive through all the uncertainty.
Senior leadership, there's no doubt about it. We have great leaders, and we always talk about overcoming adversity. I mean, life's going to throw a bunch of things at you, and it doesn't get any better when you get older. I mean, there's always obstacles to overcome, and we just try and not crumble to them. And so this is the situation we were in. We could sit here and not do anything, or we could reach out to each other and take advantage of the resources we have, like technology and Zoom and FaceTimes and things of that sort. And that's what we did. And we stayed in contact. We had weekly meetings, and and it all starts with our seniors. I mean, they did a great job leading the operation. We were right in the gym with each other the whole entire time. I mean, it was really well done, and I applaud them for their efforts.
Being able to kind of stay that positive through adversity. It really shined last year when you guys lost that tournament game and then you got back in the gym. You were able to have a couple of, good minutes with each other before the end of the season. When you see things like that and then see the way the girls handled the summer and the months leading up to the season, does that just make you kind of confident that you guys can handle anything that the season throws your way?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's what it's all about. At the end of the day, not many will remember the wins and the losses, but they're going to remember what they felt like while they were in your program. And I take great pride in that. I want us to have that family atmosphere. And I know a lot of coaches throw that out, and it's just kind of cliche. It means something here in Poland. We strive for that. We want them to build those relationships. And nothing gives me more satisfaction than to see kids graduated and still being in contact with kids that are in our program. And staying in contact, and they've just made the lifelong friend. And even now, I mean, I've been here long enough where I have players that are now getting married, having kids, and you still see when they're posting pictures and sending you pictures, hey coach, and they're all together, and it was basketball teammates. I mean, it's really something special, and I really take a lot of pride in that. That this program could do that for so many. And that's the most important thing. Just be good to one another, treat each other right, and build that lifelong friend that you can always rely on.
We've asked other coaches this too. Do you see any blessings in disguise from all that's going on this season? Maybe something that you didn't expect that's kind of a blessing for this team?
Yeah, we're able to be together. That's the biggest blessing, to be honest with you, because I'm not going to lie. I try and stay optimistic, but there's a lot of times where it's really grim, and you know it has to be done. I'm not one of those that's knocking this or thinking it's a joke. I mean, people's families are affected by this, and I know people personally that were affected by this and still are struggling because of outcomes of this pandemic. Um, and so I think it's just important that we are able in some way, shape, or form, whether it's through technology or whether it's in person, we're able to make the most of it. If it means we have to mask up, if we have to disinfect after every so often, whatever we need to do, just to have that opportunity to be in person with each other and have that communication, it's awesome, and I don't take it for granted. I mean, this year has been a very big eye opener for all of us. And just to have that feeling of you might not get this, it's so minimal compared to people that are actually losing people to COVID. But by the same token, it is important to us, and it's important to these kids, and especially the seniors who this is their last go round. So we're trying and hoping that it doesn't turn out like last spring for the softball and baseball teams and track and field. I mean, that's a rough go for those seniors who don't get to come back the following year.
Let's get to the basketball now. Like every year, it's a new group and some new faces, some same faces. What kind of things, can you expect from this team? And do you think are going to be different about this year and maybe some things that you can still build on from last year?
Well, every year we come back, and we've been fortunate. We've had a lot of returning kids come back, and we've kind of known where we were going with it. And this year we do have quite a few letter winners back, but they were in like minor roles. Like their job was to go in, give somebody a breather. And now they're in roles where now they need to contribute more. They have more significant minutes, and we're still trying to balance our depth. But it's a good thing. I mean, competition is good, and the girls are working hard, and they're happy for one another, and we're just trying to make the most of it right now. Rotation, like in the first game, second game, we got a little bit better with it, and just trying different things out until we get a feel for it. I mean, from October 23rd until our first game, we had 3 practices with everybody there. And again, that's not an excuse. It's just our reality this year. Other schools, they're in the same boat. So it isn't like it just happened to Poland. I understand that, but it still does throw things off for how we normally prepare for things. We're starting a freshman, so those reps could be critical for her to get used to her teammates and things of that sort. But nonetheless, the kids have kept on working, and they keep on being coachable, and they're listening, and we're trying our best. And I'm really proud of where we're at right now. We've played 2 really good teams in Salem and Norton. Norton's a regional qualifier, and they brought most of their team back. So that was on the road. That was a big come from behind victory there, and kept it rolling last night against Jefferson. And now we have a big game against Canfield coming up. So again, just one challenge after another. And the key thing is we just got to keep playing, have fun, enjoy every moment, and don't take anything for granted. I mean, it's been a learning experience for coaches, players, and everybody in between. I mean, it's a lot of good things happening this year, despite all the adversity.
In that first game against Salem, you lost, of course, but it was a battle the whole way through. Your kids never gave up. They tied it late. What kind of things did you see from your team, considering that you only had 3 really days of practice before that game?
I really appreciate their effort. I mean, that was the big thing I took from it. It's okay to lose. There's times we win games, and I'm angry as if we lost. I mean, just because I know we could do so much more, and it's the little things that I'm trying to pay attention to the details. And we could win a game, and I'm still thinking we're still not getting X, Y, and Z correct, and I don't understand why not. We'll break down film, we'll talk about it, and yet we still don't get it right come game time. So it's not the loss that bothers me. I went home that night and I was perfectly fine because I knew my girls left it all on the floor. It's just we weren't better than Salem that night. They had the better night. They outplayed us. We had a lead of 7. We took a lead of 8. And then they just kept battling back, and they took out Jackie pretty well. And we just didn't have that confidence for somebody else to step up and say, okay, I'll take the ball. We were leaning too much on Jackie, putting too much pressure on her. And they realized that. They focused on her, and it cost us in the long run. But we've gotten better because of it, because now we've seen it on film. We've been able to make adjustments. It is what it is. We're going to see that all year. We're not naive to that. We know that's what everyone's going to key on. But our goal is to get to the point where people are confident enough to make that opponent pay for that, for not respecting their abilities.
And then you went off and you bounced back with a win over Norton that was really a last-second scheduling because you had one team drop off. You had to kind of fill in with Norton. What was that experience like, playing a team on the fly and just kind of getting up and going to Norton and winning against a really good team?
It was great because, number one, we got to play. We lost Waterloo, who we picked up randomly because they were looking for a game. We were looking for a game. And so we picked them up. I knew nothing about them. And they ended up on Thursday being shut down. So then I spent about 2.5 hours on Thursday night after practice calling anybody I could find. And then I got hooked up with Norton, and we agreed, let's play. So we just prepared. We worried about us. We took care of what we need to work on because we didn't know much about Norton. So we go up there, and I was just happy to be able to get the kids another opportunity to play. And we took advantage of it. It was a battle. Norton's a very good, well-coached basketball program, and we were just very fortunate to come out of there with a W. But again, it was one of those just like Salem. If we would have ended up on the other side of it and we would have lost that game, there was nothing for me to be upset about. I mean, when your kids are giving you everything they can give you, sometimes you're going to fall short. It doesn't mean you did something wrong. It just means you didn't score enough points or get enough stops, but it's not because of lack of effort. It's just it didn't fall your way that day. So I would have been pleased either way after what I saw our kids do that day. Again, it's always easier to correct and learn from a win. I understand that, but that's not always the way it works.
Mary Brandt was big in that game, leading the team with 17 points. What kind of things are you seeing from this freshman that really excite you for her future in your program?
Her confidence. She's a typical freshman. I mean, I went through this with other girls in the program that were freshmen that I've given the nod to start. She has the abilities, but it's a big jump. You've got to keep it in perspective. You're going from 8th grade basketball you're skipping ninth, you're skipping JV, which are all different levels of competition, and you're going right to varsity. She definitely has the ability to play there, and she's shown that, but you're still going to be nervous. Yeah. Am I allowed to shoot? I have seniors on the floor. I have juniors. I mean, Jackie, one of the best players in the whole entire area, how much is she going to let me score? I mean, she's very nice to me, but I don't know how many she wants me to shoot. All those things run through your head. And Jackie's been great about it. So have the other upperclassmen. Just, hey, Mary, do your thing, and I think that's really taken a lot of pressure off of her as far as thinking and second guessing herself. Just go do you. I mean, you are who you are. The worst thing you could do is not play to your potential. I mean, go out, take people off the dribble. If you're open, shoot the basketball. I mean, I've told her myself in front of everybody at practice, you've got a green light, kid. If you take a shot and you're open and you miss it, airball it, I'll be just as happy with you as if you didn't, as if you made the shot. I'm okay with it. You're going to take your lumps when you're playing somebody new to the competition level. I don't care. And I actually yelled at her during the Salem game for that because she wouldn't shoot a basketball. And then she finally did take a shot and she airballed it. Yeah, it went right out of bounds. And I told her, I said, I don't care. I don't care. Keep shooting the basketball because that's all nerves. You're all tense and tight and you're not getting that flow as you normally would off your release because you're all tight. You're nervous. And so you're short on your shot. She had 3 air balls in that game, but I want her to keep shooting the basketball, and she did in the second game, and it paid off. I mean, she took over the fourth quarter, took a lot of pressure off of Jackie, had 3 threes, ended up with 17 points. She had 2 points at halftime. I mean, so in the second half, we just kept talking to her. Hey, you got to play. You got to play. And she did it, and I'm really proud of her.
Do you think that's one of those moments for a young freshman where she realizes how much she can help this team?
Yeah, I mean, like I keep trying to tell her, and the other girls, not just her,
Mhm.
hey, the more people that step up and show they can handle the ball and do something with it, the less pressure Jackie's going to face. Because right now, if I'm playing us, I'm doing the same thing everybody's doing to us. I'm jumping on the girl that everybody in the state knows about. I'm jumping all over her, and I'm going to make the other 4 do something before I worry about them. I'm not surprised by what we've seen, and I know we're going to see more of it. It's just the way good programs are going to run. I mean, they're going to want to take out your best player until they learn somebody else's name on your roster. And right now, that's what our girls have to do. They've got to know that right now, Jackie's the only person that anybody cares about until you make them respect you and care about you. So we accept the challenge, and we'll see how this year goes.
You hopped into Jefferson last night and you started your NE8 play, and you also recognized your 3 seniors. Talk about your 3 seniors and kind of what they mean to the team and what this senior leadership kind of brings.
Well, like I started with the off season, I mean, they were very quick to jump on the opportunity to not watch their whole preseason go to waste in the summer. They already knew they couldn't have a summer league, and there was no off-season workouts and things of that sort until June. I mean, we weren't even sure we were going to have that, but they were quick to, hey, coach, let's do something. Let's get something together. And we did. I'm all for it. Hey, I'm here. You guys want something? That's my job. My job is to make sure we carry out whatever plan we can. And even though it was just Zooms and whatnot, they made the most of it. They Zoomed daily, nightly. I mean, they were constantly in contact with these kids. We made little competitions to do. I mean, we had fun with it, and they've been groomed because they've seen how kids have treated them during their freshman, sophomore, and junior years, and they did good to carry that legacy on with this year's group. And it was not easy to do. But I have the utmost respect for these 3 kids. It's very easy to be down on yourself and feel frustrated with this situation because you could feel bad at your senior year. Well, there's a lot of kids that haven't stepped on the court yet because their programs are currently shut down, and they would do anything to trade with you, even if it was to lose your first game. Who cares? You got to play. Well, we're still waiting to see the floor. So I keep telling them that and make sure that they understand, there's nothing to hang your head about. We're getting this opportunity. Don't take it for granted. And we don't know what's going to come ahead. But they have been awesome, not only leaders, but just people. They're very caring people, and they're the group that cares more about others than they do themselves. And that is just such a great characteristic to have. And I'm just super thankful that they're on our side, regardless of what happens this year. And it was just very important for me and our administration to give them a senior night. So when we discussed that, I didn't want to do it in game 1 because there's already enough going on. We don't need to add a senior night to it. but it was very important. The next home game, we addressed this, and the administration fully backed it and agreed. Let's get this in, so in case something crazy does happen and we get shut down, we've at least given these kids the night they deserve. So it is kind of a little different this year because obviously when you get to senior night, you're getting ready for tournament tune-up, and you're thinking end of the season here coming up, and you're getting that tournament prep mindset. And now it's like, man, we've only played 3 games, and we're in senior night and it's already done. So, but nonetheless, that's a lot of stress off my shoulders, because if they wouldn't have gotten a senior night, it would have haunted me for a long time. And that's how much respect I have for these kids. I wanted them and their families to have that night.
I feel like every time we talk, every season, you talk about the senior class that learned from the senior class before them. How proud are you as the head of this program that it's a trickle-down effect that every senior class is learning from the senior leaders that came before them, and it's starting to become almost a cycle of senior leaders that does keep refilling the tank?
It means a lot to me. Truthfully, it means more to me than victories, to be honest with you, because they're learning how to be good people, and this world needs that more now than ever, because we have a lot of selfish, angry, just bitter people, and some have rights, I guess, to feel that way, things that happen to them and things of that sort. But to be able to be this young and care so much about other people and put them first, that's something I'm very proud of, and I'm glad that they realize the respect they've received as freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, and it means so much to them that they want to carry that out as a senior. It's a good characteristic, and like I said, over the years, even the kids that have graduated and gone, it's still nice to see them reach back to the program, and they're still friends with kids that are even grade levels below them or above them, and they still have that connection because of a basketball team. I mean, that's something special, and it means a lot to me. And before we move on with this, I do want to thank YSN and DJ and yourself and your mom and everybody who was in charge of yesterday's broadcast, because with limited tickets, we couldn't get our families in here for senior night and like we normally do in our student section and things of that sort. So for you to come extra early just to be able to broadcast our senior night so these kids' families could sit at home and watch, which they did, I just want to say thank you, because that was very important to them, which makes it very important to me. So thank you for bringing yourself here and getting yourself set up even earlier than normal for the kids. We appreciate that here.
You are absolutely welcome. That's why we kind of did YSN, so the people that couldn't come to the games could come. And little did we know that 3 years after we set up, it would be so important for someone to be there to give these, not just these games, but these moments to the people that can't be at games.
Yeah, it means a lot.
You got the NE8 started, as I said, with a win over Jefferson. When you look around the league in the NE8 this year, what kind of things do you think you expect from this season in the NE8 and the teams that are in your conference?
I'm just hoping they get an opportunity to play, to be honest with you. Everybody's up in the air. I mean, we only have 4 teams going right now in our conference. Poland, Jefferson, South Range, Struthers. We're fortunate, and right now everybody else in the conference is down. I'm hoping they get a chance to play. This year, I'll be honest with you, of course, every year you want to win and you want to win the conference and go to districts and do all those great things. But this year, I'll be honest with you, I want to see everybody get a chance to play. Records and conference titles and all those things, I just want the kids to have a chance at every school to be able to experience something, especially for the seniors, because you don't get a second go around at this. So if this is your last year, even if you can get a handful of games in, just to be able to get that jersey on and go out with something on the court rather than to never be given a chance. That's really what I'm focused on. I hope those other teams in the conference get this ability to take the court, and we can make the most of it. Even if there's no fans in the stands, whatever they have to do, let those kids have their senior nights. Let YSN be there to broadcast them and, have their families experience that rather than have that gap in their sports life.
When the season's kind of early, but already I see that the seniors of these teams are really stepping up and putting a little bit extra effort than you see from a normal year, because like you said, we don't know if there's going to be more games. Do you see that too from even your opponents, the seniors on the teams, that are just putting in that a little bit of an extra push because it's their senior season?
Absolutely. And that's what makes me proud of these other programs and feel good about it and know we have a lot of good coaches. I know a lot of coaches are calling everybody and they're posting on websites and, hey, we're looking for games. They're trying everything they can to give these kids as many opportunities as they can to get on the court. And that's a credit to these coaches and these administrators who are backing their sports programs right now in a very dangerous time, and we understand that. But there are so many safety protocols, and I know here at Poland we have a very strict administration on what they expect, and if you're not going to do it, you're done. I mean, it's cut and dry. We're not asking you to do these things. You're either going to do these things for the safety of yourself and your players and everyone else around, or you're done. So it's cut and dry. And I told him, I'll do anything you need us to do, and he see all these other coaches reaching out, trying to play. I mean, it's a lot better than other coaches are like, well, we can't play. I'm not looking for anything. The other teams on our schedules, they're shut down. So we're just going to sit here. That's not right. And make the most of it. It's more than just a contract. I mean, you're dealing with kids and the kids need these moments. The families need these moments more now than ever. Just something to take their mind off of being quarantined or shut down or everything negative in the news and in the world. These are very important times. So I fully see it. And like I said, it's not about wins and losses this year. At least with me, it's not. Appreciate the moments. And I really have a lot of respect for all these coaches that are trying to do the right things right now.
And with everything looking so different this year, of course, girls basketball is not the only sport that's dealing with everything being different. Every sport's dealing with it. Has the Poland community and the Poland athletics community become even tighter knit than usual with everyone going through what they're going through?
Yeah, to an extent, but there's some frustrations there, and it's understandable. I mean, there are people who it starts out with let them play, and then once you let them play, then it's let us in, and and I understand that because that's how our community rolls here at Poland. It's awesome. I mean, they want to be here. And so then it's like, well, look, I mean, I'll sit way up there in the corner all by myself. Well, what they don't get is like, we know you want to be here and we know you've been here for X amount of years. That's great. And we appreciate that. I mean, we love the support, but if we let you in, then the next guy's coming. Then she's going to want in, he's going to want in. And where do you draw the line? So there's some frustration there, but it's like that in every community. I mean, people want in. This is what they enjoy. They enjoy coming to watch the kids they've been watching since middle school come up. And now, like you got Coach Grisdale on the boys' side. He's approaching 500 wins, and community members have been following him. He's been here 28 years. I mean, people want to see that. They want to be a part of that. And, that's where I'm thankful to have you guys doing what you do, because without that, they'd really be out of the loop. But it means something. We're one big family here, and we try to make the most of it. But it's when we get frustrated, you do like you do at home too. You get frustrated, you take it out on the people around you just because you're upset with the situation. So it's not necessarily you don't like that person. You're just frustrated, so you're going to let them know it. And we got a little bit of that going on, but who doesn't right now,
And you've already talked about your administration and how serious they've taken it and how well they've handled this whole situation. So I think everyone they're getting more looks at the school's administration. So let's talk about the Poland administration and how they've handled this situation.
Oh, it's been phenomenal. They've been very supportive. It's from the top down. I mean, all the way from our superintendent, Dr. Holland, and you have Mr. Janifay, all the way down, our Board of Education. Kevin Snyder's been awesome, our principal, Mike Daly, Brian Banfield. He's always been in our corner from day one. They've been all for it. As long as we're not shut down by the governor, we're going full steam ahead, and we're going to give these kids every opportunity we can. They have been in our corner, but they have been very strict with it. Like, this is not optional. If we're going to do this, this is what you're going to do at your practices, at your games, and your distancing. And are we perfect at it? Absolutely not, because sometimes you get caught in the moment. You're excited, you want to run right up to somebody, and then you're thinking, oh boy, you know, I got to keep your distance. You know, I understand that because we're emotional here. We get after it, and, you know, we're used to jumping up and high fiving and doing all those things. So we're not perfect at it, but we are aware of it, and we're doing it to the best of our abilities. You know, girls that are out, they've got their masks on at all times. We disinfect everything. You know, we're switching basketballs throughout the game, you know, disinfecting constantly. You know, locker room, everything gets sprayed down. You know, it is what it is. I mean, we're making the most of it, but we at least get the opportunity. And I think right now, these coaches that are down, if you gave them that option, hey, follow these rules and play or not, I mean, they're going to play. And right now, there are a lot of teams, like I said, I just hope they get that opportunity.
And you said it, sometimes it's hard in the moment. You guys have done a great job. What kind of things have you done to keep energy up when you can't do the things you would normally do to celebrate the good moments in your team?
Oh, vocal. I'm all vocal. I mean, I'll congratulate a girl from across the court. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I know I can't run up to you, but by the same token, I can let you hear it and let everybody in the gym hear it. I mean, I'm still passionate. I'm excited. And that's how we are here. I mean, our teammates, if you watch our bench is always up, you know, cheering, whatnot. I mean, they're always making the most of everything they're doing. And we're just excited for one another. So we can't come up and hug you, but by the same token, we'll scream for you, you know, and just give that good, positive energy and let them know, hey, proud of you. And that goes a long way.
All right, Coach, before we let you go, all of our corners, episode 1, the question of the day has been, what is your favorite Christmas song? So I'll ask you that as well. What's on the Blanch family Christmas playlist?
Grandma got run over by a reindeer. I'm going to go with that one. So that way, old people get in our way, you run them over with a reindeer. That's what we're going with, Anthony.
I like that. Pretty soon, though, you know, you're going to be in that same boat.
I know.
Time works both ways.
Until then, they reference me as the Grinch, brother. So don't you worry about that. I'm on the Grinch status, man. So that's why we just got to run people over with the reindeer.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Good luck in the week to come, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
I hope so. But you tell Fischel I did 27 minutes. So you tell Fischel he better do something a little bit better here because these are points on the board here. We're up 27-0 on South Range right now.
You know, we can't wait. Hopefully, when that game comes up, we can get you both on and have some fun.
That would be awesome. I have nothing but respect for him and his program. They are great people, and I look forward to that. That's going to be fun.
All right, Coach. Thanks again for coming on, and good luck this week.
Thanks a lot, Anthony.